I discovered 8 insanely good use cases for clay.com, and in this video I'll be showing you each of them one by one. These aren't just theory, these are the exact use cases that I personally taught to over 500 students inside of Unlock Clay already. Let's dive in and take a look at how clay.com can be used in order to generate more sales for you or your clients. Let's go ahead and take a look at our first clay.com use case, which is how you can use clay.com in order to poach clients from your competitors. Now, in order to pull off this workflow, you would likely need a tool like Phantom Buster or Scrapely.io in order to go and scrape people that follow your direct competitors on LinkedIn. After you found those direct competitors, you can simply click on Actions inside of the Clay table, click on Sources, and click on Import from CSV. After that, you obviously will just upload the people that follow your competitors into this CSV file, and you will see a Clay table that looks something like this on my screen right now. On the left-hand side over here, you can just input the name of the competitor that these people will follow. In this case, you can see I'm just giving you an example of people that follow Calendly on LinkedIn. Let's say if we run a company that's a direct competitor, for example, TidyCal, which also schedules meetings, this will be perfect in order to retarget the existing likely users of Calendly. Straight away, from that scrape that we've just done on Scrapely or Phantom Buster, we will have the full name, the first name, the last name, the LinkedIn profile, and all of the other data points about each individual prospect. What we can then do, as I scroll to the right-hand side, is first of all, we can use ChatGPT in order to qualify the prospect based on the job title to see if it's a good fit. For example, if we only want to sell to sales teams, we can make sure that the job title is a sales-related job title. Assuming the person fits our ICP criteria, we can then enrich the company, which simply put just basically qualifies the company afterwards based on headcounts and based on the company description to make sure that it's in the right industry. And then after we check if the company fits the ICP, we can then go ahead and validate the email address of the prospects. Now, after that, we can also use Clay in order to do other little things like tidying up the first names of the individual that we're about to send the email to, because a lot of the time you want to turn their name from Jeffrey into Jeff, for instance, just to make it a bit more conversational and a bit more informal in your outreach. So just to give you an idea of what the final output of this use case looks like, you would typically be able to qualify all of your prospects and send them a personalized email that looks something similar to this. Hey Jeff, noticed you follow Calendly. I guess you tried them for scheduling before. Quick check, how often does this happen? And then over here, we will just have a personalized line that we generated using ChatGPT before, where we just name drop a colleague of Jeff's, where we say, hey, Mike, your head of sales, says that the link you sent out shows no availability. The other person forgets to book. We then go ahead with just a quick value proposition and a soft call to action offering a 30-day free trial. After you generate this email template, on the right-hand side over here, you should be able to see the Smart Lead enrichment and the Hey Reach enrichment. They will basically then send automated emails via Smart Lead and send personalized LinkedIn messages via Hey Reach as well, as a result of running this use case. If you're looking to get early stage customers on board, the chances are this is one of the simplest and most effective tactics to do that, because simply put, all we're doing is just retargeting people that are super high intent and who are very likely to face the headaches that your product likely solves. So for that reason, I very much recommend you to try this out and let me know how that goes. Now let's talk about Clay use case number 2, and in this case, it will be ABM account research. In my opinion, this is one of the most powerful ways to save time for your sales team, because essentially what we're doing here is just first of all thinking about every single thing that our sales team researches about our target prospects usually before qualifying the prospects and reaching out to them for our sales outreach. So let's take a look at this quick Clay table. In this case, our client is selling into cement companies, and over here we have the names of the cement plants, we have the cities where the cement plants are located, and we have the countries where they're located. Based on that, we're basically replacing everything that their sales team used to be researching manually. And in this case, we start off with using Clayagent in order to find the websites of those cement plants. We then check if those cement plants have any sort of hardwares installed on the cement plants, and specifically the hardwares that we can find based on historic job descriptions. And before we know it, we can also pull off all sorts of other fancy research, like understanding what type of rotary kiln is being used, whether they have a cal sign or not, which is super specific and tailored to this specific account research that typically is done by the sales team ahead of any sales outreach that is performed by them on a daily basis. So these kind of workflows can be tailored completely to your needs using just the following things. So first of all, we would need to have the inputs. The inputs will typically be the company names and websites. Then use the Clagent enrichment. So if you click on actions in the top right corner, you would just use Clagent, the AI web researcher, to research a bunch of things for you. And then by the very end of this workflow, you can see that we can basically split this into different steps. For example, seeing if the company is high tech, referencing past articles, referencing their case studies and testimonials of like what companies this company works with, looking at their sustainability targets. And before we know it, we can then create a Google Doc with all that research. In my company right now, we refer to this as battle cards, which basically equip the sales team with all the information that is needed in order to start those initial conversations with those target companies. So essentially, you can see all the information displayed on this Google Doc. The sales team can instantly access it, and more than that, we can even send this account-based research into your CRM, or we can even send this research directly to your sales team so that every time that your sales team cold calls someone, they will have this research right in front of them with some prompts that we generated using AI as the cold call openers. Now it's about time that we move on to use case number 3, and that use case is how you can use job postings in order to create personalized outreach at scale. Now, most of you would have never used this feature before, but if you log inside of your Clay account, you can use this free feature inside of Clay. All you need to do is click on Find Jobs in the Quick Start menu, and you'll be able to filter for any sort of open roles that a company is looking to fill in for. So for instance, over here, if I type into the job title, I can type in sales and I'll be able to see all the open sales roles that the company is hiring for. Now, here is the catch. Most people just use it this way, where they just look for the open role job titles, but there is so much more that we can be doing here. Now, if you navigate to the very bottom over here, you will see the job description filter, and this can be used in so many cool, creative ways. One of the ways that we tried recently is we tried to type in the names of specific softwares that compete with our client softwares. So for instance, if we type in HubSpot, we will be able to then automatically see every single company that is hiring for a sales role, and we know that they use HubSpot. Now, straight away, we can either personalize the outreach to them, or we can try to convince them to use a competitor software. Another super underrated thing that you can be doing here is inside the job description, you can look for related keywords and key terms. So for example, let's say if we're selling a cold calling software or a cold calling service, we can look for cold calling to be mentioned inside of the job description. And obviously this will automatically find us 29 or 30,000 companies here that are actively hiring for sales roles, and we already know that they're doing cold calling, so we can already lean in with some personalization and relevance in our outreach. Another tactic that we've seen work really well in the past, into the job description keyword section over here, you can just type in the name of a complementary tool or a complementary service. So for example, let's say if we sell a CRM like Salesforce, we may be typing into over here like an email finder tool like ZoomInfo, because the chances are if they already use ZoomInfo, you know that they probably need a CRM in place as well. So this is another cool way that you can be doing that. And before you know it, just like you can see on my screen right now, you will have 2 separate Clay tables. The first Clay table with all the open roles over here, and you can see all the details about the open roles right in front of you. And more than that, in a separate table, you also have all the job data alongside the hiring stakeholders, so the people that work at that company, which we could have filtered for as well, so that we can directly reach out to, be it heads of sales, founders, or whoever fits your ICP at those hiring companies. One thing worth noting, there is also a new feature that just came out recently, which makes this job even easier, is if you type in enrich job, you will be able to also find the job description, which you can then feed into ChatGPT, and you can create all sorts of funky personalized copy just based on using this enriched job description. Now, if you have plenty of people visiting your website from the US, the chances are you would love use case number 4, which is retargeting all of your inbound website visitors using a tool like knock2.ai in order to be able to, first of all, qualify anyone that visits your website, and after that, also engage them in personalized outreach as soon as they visit your website. Now, if you're not familiar with tools like knock2.ai, essentially all it does is it gives you a dashboard view similar to what you can see on my screen right now, and you can head over to the workflow section to set up a webhook, which will automatically be triggered as soon as a contact visits your website. Typically, within 30 to 60 seconds of the person visiting the website, they will be automatically tracked using a pixel that you have installed on the website. And as soon as that happens, this will trigger a webhook to be sent inside of the clay table. The clay table can then do all the fun stuff like enriching the company, qualifying the company based on headcount, on the industry, and so on. And assuming that the people that visit your website fit your ideal client profile that you preset inside of Clay already, you can then generate some sort of personalized first liners, personalized emails, and after qualifying them, you can then send them a personalized email that would look something like this. Hey Fred, saw you checked out our website. I saw that you helped to automate market research with speed and affordability. As you grow past 12 employees, and then blah, 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 you can just like have whatever your value prop is at the bottom here. Now, if you have plenty of website traffic coming from the United States, the chances are you would absolutely love using a tool like Knock2, because as you can see over here, you can also set up automated Slack notifications so that as soon as someone visits your website, not only will it trigger the automatic running of the Clay table with all the personalizations and all that fun stuff, but also it will enable your team to be notified via Slack, and you can just casually browse this Slack channel, check out the email address of the person, check out the LinkedIn profile of the person, and if you want to reach out manually rather than automating the full process here, you can do that as well. And that's in fact how we got a lot of people to sign up for our Unlock Clay course, and how we book in quite a lot of people that visit our website, because basically just message them manually a lot of the time. Really quickly, before we jump into the next 4 Clay use cases, I just want to mention that I just finished creating a training for you so that you can learn how to build those 4 initial Clay use cases completely from scratch after finishing that training. And this is one of the most used trainings inside of my agency, where we use those trainings to upskill our in-house team on how to use and implement Clay for other businesses. And the best part is that it's totally 100% free. So if you want to grab the training, just head over to the top link in the description down below. Go ahead and you can get instant access to all 8 use cases that you can learn how to implement in your own time super, super fast. Now, let's get on with the video and talk about the 5th Clay use case, which is how you can personalize every single cold message at scale inside of Clay using just 1 enrichment. For those of you that may not be aware just yet, because this just came out recently, there is this enrichment called Twain. So all you would need to do is click on actions in the top right corner and type in Twain. And over here, you can generate outreach using deep research. Just to give you a quick taster of what this would require, you would typically need to have an existing lead list with a full name of a person, the LinkedIn profile, and also the website of where this person works. And based on that, Twain can generate very good cold outreach copy for your business. Once again, all of this is covered inside of the free training of how to use Twain. We can spend a long time going through it. However, let me just show you some of the results of using the Twain enrichment. If we click on any of the sequences over here, we can see that it generates a multi-step sequence. For each prospect, it researches the prospect's email, job title, name. It gives you a quick summary of their career. And on top of that, it gives you a bunch of data points about the company, such as the company headcount, the websites, the company description, as well as insights which are relevant for your cold outreach. Let's have a look at what the final output looks like with the messages that are being sent out. So this was the first attempt that I made over here at generating this message, and it says, "Hey Lorenzo, I saw you follow Trigify on LinkedIn. Making the jump from Microsoft and LinkedIn to ScalaPay's in-store payments sounds both exciting and challenging." And then it basically just has a quick value proposition of what we do and a soft call to action. In my opinion, Twain is really, really good at personalizing the cold outreach, and it can basically mimic what your sales team is already writing manually, but you can do that at scale for each individual prospect. So in my opinion, this is the most efficient way to be personalizing outreach at scale using Twain. So go check out the video inside of the free training. If you sell into an industry that typically has a lot of events, conferences, or any sorts of webinars going on, whereby a lot of people attend those type of events, the chances are you can use use case number 6 in order to be able to extract and scrape every single speaker or a person that attends those events, and you can then send them pre-event outreach and post-event outreach. So first of all, you need to basically go on a website where you have a list of people that are attending the events. Typically, let's say for this event, which is once again contextual to the cement industry, you would be able to see all the delegates that will be attending this specific event. With a click of a button in the top right-hand corner, we can activate the Clay for Chrome extension. And just by clicking on the Chrome extension over here, we should be able to see that it loads up all the data points about every single person that's attending the event. So we can see their first name, we can see their last name, we can see their company name, and just with a click of a button, we can add this into a Clay table. Now, if this Chrome extension does not work, we can definitely do that using the Instant Data Scraper, which is a tool that you're probably very much familiar with. And you can see straight away, it basically just scrapes automatically the countries, the company names, and all of that personal information about each individual prospect. Obviously, after that, you can then import it as a CSV file into your Clay table. And for the purpose of this, I'm just going to show you very quickly how we're able to find the LinkedIn profile URLs using Claygens. And after that, we can find the websites of where all of these people attending the event work. We can then filter them based on the sales personas. We can then find their email addresses, and we can then create them as contacts inside of our CRM before then enrolling them in HeyReach or Smart Lead Outreach before the event, saying, oh, hey, we look forward to speaking to you at the event. We'll be at stand number 23. And then after the event as well, you can also have this kind of message whereby you say, oh, it's a shame that we missed you. Would you be open to a call just to make sure that we catch up since we couldn't catch up at the event? This typically activates a lot of the people that attend the same events as you. And it's also very useful if there are some industry specific events that you're not able to attend in person, because that way you can still engage those people, and that's a valid reason for outreach. So if you sell into an industry which does a lot of different events, I would very much recommend that you use this tactic. Quickly moving on to use case number 7. In this one, we'll talk about how you can monitor your existing accounts and your existing clients for job changes, because typically this is a great opportunity for you to either reach out to new enroll employees at your existing accounts and at your existing customers. Alternatively, if any employees have moved on from one of your existing customers, you can then expand into new accounts that way as well. Inside of Clay, the way you will look like is you'll click on signals over here on the left side of the panel. Typically, you can just click over here for new hires or job changes, and then this will preload a template for you where you can upload a CSV of your target accounts. And by the end of doing this, you will be able to input all of your target accounts. So as you can see on the screen right now, let's say if my current client is Adidas, I'll just add Adidas over here with their website being adidas.com. And now every time when Adidas has a new hire in place, inside of table 2 over here, you will see that the new hire will show up right in front of me. We will have their LinkedIn profile with all of their details, their location, their job title, everything of that sort. And before we know it, we're then also able to send ourselves a message on Slack to notify us as soon as our target account has a new enroll employee working for them. So in this case, this is what it would look like. You can see I just sent a quick test run from Clay into Slack, and I just got notified twice over here by a bot as soon as a new hire has been appointed at Adidas. So this is a really, really cool way to stay on top of job changes, new hires, and this will be a cool trigger, an instant trigger that you can stay up to date with in order to make sure that you can see the decision makers moving between your existing clients and any new potential accounts that you may want to expand into. Now it's about time that we talk about use case number 8, which is using social signals in order to retarget the followers of your competitors on LinkedIn. Now, I understand that sounds like a bit of a mouthful. It sounds complicated, but all it is us using a tool called Trigify. And what we will be doing here is we will think about who are the biggest thought leaders in our space, who are the biggest folks on LinkedIn that speak to the exact same ideal client profile as our company sells to. To make things easier, inside of Trigify, they have this cool feature which is called influencers, which enables you to type in some keywords. For example, let's type in ESG, and we can then filter for how many times that keyword was used in a creator's content. Over here, if it says 3 mentions and it says ESG as the keyword, that means that these people over here right in front of us would have made 3 posts about ESG in the last 7 days alone. So obviously these will be the biggest thought leaders whose audience we can tap into. And over here, we can see the average engagement per profile and a bunch of other cool metrics, just so we can pick a specific thought leader first. After we pick the thought leader, we can add them into profile engagement tab over here. And what this enables us to do is to scrape automatically every time that someone new likes or comments under this influencer's posts. They will be automatically added to a Clay table. So if I show you as an example here, we have a Clay table with everyone that's ever engaged with Rory Sadler's content. Rory Sadler is quite a big B2B sales influencer, and so we can tap into his existing audience by, first of all, adding all of them into this Clay table. We'll have all the details about their company, about the individual they engaged with Rory's posts. And then if we scroll across over here, we're then able to basically find the email addresses of all of those people. We can then qualify them if we want to qualify those prospects, and we can then retarget them with some sort of offers. So in this case over here, if we just click quickly, we should be able to see that we're proposing a free digital proposal template, which is something that most of Rory's followers would otherwise be likely already buying, simply because Rory sells a digital sales room, and hence we're offering a digital sales room template, which is very similar as well. Now, the biggest benefit of using this is being able to retarget and engage the people that follow your direct competitors on LinkedIn, who proactively engage with your competitors' content and with big thought leaders' content. And for those of you that try this out, let me know how it goes. I'm sure you will absolutely smash it with this clay table after learning how to build this inside of the free training that I put together for you. Now, the point of this video was not to show you any of the nitty-gritty stuff inside of clay, or actually build any of these clay tables live together with you. But rather, the point was to give you a little teaser, showing you what you can do if you use clay to its full potential. But if you're here and you want to learn clay completely from scratch for free, I got you, because if you click on this video, you can learn everything that you need to know in order to build these types of clay tables and workflows that will stand the test of time. No matter if you're a seasoned sales veteran or a complete beginner, that video will take you literally through everything that you need to know in order to start generating leads super fast and start automating what you used to spend countless hours doing manually before. So I will see you over there.